Oh, hello Undergirls and Differentials. It's Donald. Welcome back to my kitchen. And on today's menu, I'll be serving you how to build Pokemon decks for the Pokemon trading card game. Yeah, I'll show you how to do it. If you're like, better have some Shaymins here, otherwise it's... Oh, yep, they're right here. They're right here, got you covered. So, maybe you sort of already know to build decks already, but you want some extra tips. So I got you right there. Or you know somebody who's just getting into the game. You know, they need help on how to make decks with draw supporters, how many energies. I got you covered. So, let's get started, and I'm gonna walk you through, the 4 steps, which... First of all, I did most of the deck for you. 48 cards, 80% of the deck done. Right here, trainer template, which you can copy, which I'll show you what you have to do with that afterwards. There are things you should change. All you have to do after that, add your Pokemon, balance the deck space. That's gonna be tough. And your crash test, which you're gonna find out how well your deck does. So, let's get started. Step 1, this trainer template. You know what? I got 48 cards done for you already. 80% of the deck. It's like, wow. Can you really do that? Okay, I'll get to it. First of all, here is the code. So when you create a deck, there's an option for import, copy in, and paste. Voila! 48 cards. Now, there are things you gotta worry about because this step seems a bit fishy. So there are placeholder cards. Yeah. I'm using dark energies, so switch those out if you're not using a dark deck. Double colors energies, some Pokemons may not use those, so switch those out with regular energies. Finally, the stadium is Parallel City. I mean, it's good in a lot of decks, but not all of them. We'll talk about which to substitute in. And Fighting Fury Bell. Great for basic Pokemons, but that may not be the Pokemon tool you want, so pick the right Pokemon tool. And finally, Pokemon. There's no Pokemon in there. Well, no real Pokemon in here. The one that makes the core of the deck, you gotta add those in. I'll get to all that, but in case you wanted to, skip a step, make sure you don't forget that step. Moving on. So, 48 cards. What's so special about these 48 cards? Well, I balanced them for you. I put some critical cards that are considered meta staples. So, most important of all, troll supporters. Unique cards to play in your hand because if you got nothing in your hand, no energies, no Pokemons. So these are the backbone of your deck, which is Eds, Sycamore, Verse Seekers, and iPhones. Maybe not that last one, but there are also other ones. Lily's okay. Maybe not that one, and maybe not that one. No, okay. But these guys that you see here, because hey, you draw, and at the start of the game, 6 more cards for you to play. Sycamore, 7 more cards for you to play. Verse Seeker, you just use them again. So, I recommend having 13 or more of these cards. That depends on other many draw Pokemon or how, your deck is balanced out. So, that can change. Base starting off, this is a nice recommended number, but okay, moving on. Draw Pokemon, yeah! So, these trainers, these supporters, they're big. They're the most staple things, but these helped you out too. The biggest one is Shaymin because every meta deck has it. Pretty much. You throw this down, you draw until you have 6 more cards, and that's a lot. Considered it's repeatable. So, as long as you got the deck space, of course. Most people run, I'd say, 2 in a deck there, and it's a very expensive card because of how useful it is. But if you don't got a Shaymin, then hey, go for a Rangaroo. He's cheap. He's in the Incineroar theme deck in the shop. So he may not be as good as Burst, but his reliability, he's not worth 2 prize cards if he's Lysandered out. And he can fight, he can carry. So if you don't got Shaymin, it's okay. The Monkey Banana Master, he's got you. And finally, Octillery. I only recommend Octillery if you're using level balls. It helps both Octillery and another Pokemon in your deck. That's the key. Dive balls or level balls. But this thing, now you may get fire your draw supporters if you can get an Octillery up. Now they're abilities, so they can't get shut down by Garbodor, so be careful, but they help with the draw supporters. That's why you see the 2 Shaymins right up there up front. So, okay, good. Moving on. Yeah, okay, Rangaroo. Now, energies. How many energies you should put? Sometimes I see 20. Sometimes I see 8. 20 is definitely too much. I'd say the best number is about 12 to 13 because you're like, what? That's too little. No, with your draw supporters, you're always gonna get 1 or 2. Balance issues wise, so this include DCEs, regular energies. So, yep, that's just how much you need. Okay, moving on, energy bonus. You know, 1 energy return is too slow, so you need some help with that. So there are lots of cards, but these are ones that are very commonly used. DCE, 2 energies. That's like a 2 energy card with no elements, and it helps lots of Pokemons. What else? Max Elixirs. You know, if you usually cannot use DCEs, you can use Max Elixirs, which usually gets you an extra energy on one of your bench basic Pokemons. Conditional, but it works very often. It can help you cheat a turn churning in energies. And XP share, yeah! This come back into play now because, you know, when a Pokemon goes down, you conserve an energy. It doesn't go into your discard, and another Pokemon can keep it ready to go. Usually a powerful stage 1 or stage 2. So these are just complementing ways, and you can also give them no, I don't think that works. Okay, moving on. So consider those when you make your deck. Utility supporters. Oh, Lysander dragging out bench Pokemon. Pokemon suddenly healing Professor Kukui. Bonus damage. They're supporters. They don't necessarily give you cards, but they have such important utility. Something game-changing that is very crucial to have. So I recommend at least 2 Lysanders. These 1 Kukui. Kukui's helped me out so many times every single deck. He deserves a spot. And depending on your deck Pokemon Center Lady, this card can keep your Pokemon in the game for 1 extra turn in the active. So that could be game changing. So I put a little bit of extras here. Hexamaniac, Delinquent Bridget. You may know what those cards are, but some of those cards might fit, some may not. Yeah, okay. Moving on, Pokeballs. How many Pokeballs you have? Why are these important? They help hunt for the right Pokemon you need. So, the traditional for long time is to use 4 Ultra Balls. Pokemon will make sure this will never go out of print. So, Ultra Ball reprinted every couple of expansions, but 4 of them. 4 of them. Now, we have another new Pokeball. So if you're using evolutions that use 90 hit point Pokemon somewhere in the line, Level Ball. Lots of basic Pokemons, Nest Ball. So I recommend 4 to 6. More than 1? Yeah. The more Pokeballs you have, you can thin your deck from Pokemon, get them out, and now, you know, all the rest of the things you need will be in your deck, not Pokemon. So lots of these makes your deck smoother. I guarantee it. I'd say it's better than Trainer Mail, which we'll get to. All right, retreat. How are you going to retreat your Pokemon if they Lysander something else? Or you want to deny some prizes? Situations like that. Well, the card that's been throughout time, Switch. Right there. So you need some switches to your deck. Float Stone is a tool that gives you 0 retreat on your Pokemon. Helpful too in Olympia. Now you got 4 Verse Seekers in your deck. So you just give her a phone call. Those can become switches too. I recommend 0. Some Pokemon decks, they have 3 retreats and 1 retreat cost. So you can make a skip out on that. But 3, I suppose, for the heaviest of the heaviest. So there are other ways too. Yeah, but those are more specific towards the decks you're running with. So these are the more common ones. Yeah. I don't know how this will work though. Okay, moving on. Stadium. Yeah, stadiums, they provide very powerful effects that are persistent. If you've played against them, you know, dang, I can't let my opponent have that. So you must have your own stadiums. That helps you, or you can remove your opponent's stadium with. So there are cards such as Skyfield, Rayquaza's Parallel Cities, shrinking so much bench space. This thing's like border toxic. It's awesome, yet it's scary. Force of Giant Plains, instantaneous evolution for your grass Pokemons. This is the world of grass Pokemon, so you cannot let your opponents keep this in play. You gotta have your own, switch it out. I have a list of nice stadiums right here if you want to check out. So, yeah. That being said, Poketools. Things that Pokemon can equip. They're mostly persistent, but they usually give a big bonus. So we have the Fighting Fury Belt, basic Pokemons. If you're running an all basic deck, this is a must. They help so much. Poisonous Barb, it's new. People say it sucks. No, it does not. Sometimes this damage gets you the kill. Been there, I know it. Bursting Balloon, 60 damage? Yeah, that will get you the kill. So, you should have 2 to 3. You can squeeze by 2, but usually people have 3, like at least Fighting Fury belts for sure. So, there are other cards here. And, yep. Just take a look, which one's appropriate, put it into your deck. Now, we're cycling. Have you ever played a long match? And you're like, oh, I don't have any more cards to play. Well, usually one super run takes care of that. Usually, you shuffle Pokemon's basic energies back, and you're done. Now, if you need more than that, then go for Brock. Yeah, level 6. But it's a supporter, so you won't get any card pulls with a supporter that turn. Be careful. And special charge. Ooh. If you're using lots of DCEs, I'd say this one of this is good. So, these are relatively cheap cards. You only have 1 or 2 in the deck. That's okay. Moving on. Oh, okay. This point on, this is more optional stuff. Because for very specific strategies that, don't want junk in their deck, they just want to pull the best of the best cards. Deck thinners, trainer mails, acrobikes, unknowns. Because these are just empty space. Why would you put empty space in deck? So you draw them, you can just burn them and get the right card you want. So this is like, hey, it's an unknown. Just draw another card. Thinning your deck down. Same with Acrobike. Somewhat with Trainer Mail. I'll give you a disclaimer. I'd say Pokemon Bet Balls can be better in some cases. A lot of cases in these things. Depending on how your deck sets up. So if your deck isn't running smoothly, okay, moving on, Disruption! You should never put any of these in your deck because I don't like you if you do it. But if you do, then okay, here we go. Garbodor shuts down all abilities, works in some decks. If you use abilities, you can't do it, but because Pokemon abilities are good, this is why he's very common. Enhance Hammers, DCEs are everywhere. It is an excellent card, so this will really shut him down. There are things like Enhance Hammers, Team Player Grunts, but there are a lot of options that any deck can put in to slow your opponent down because your deck needs the speed to set up or you have the deck space. Just do it. Yeah, so that is another options and decks. A very dangerous options for your opponent. So that is the that is the Pokemon deck. Now, next up, you need your Pokemon. It's like, dang, 48 cards done yet. These critical cards change the entire deck. So, how should I go about putting Pokemon? I would say the simpler your Pokemon lines are, the better. So, 2 core Pokemon lines. I see theme decks going 3, 4, 5. Stick with 2. It's gonna be so much smoother. What is your first core? Basic Pokemon front line. This is Tauros. This is Eviltal. This is Volcanion. Look at these. Basic. 180, 170, 130 hit points. They are big. They are powerful right off the bat. Look at the low energy cost. 1, 2 of both of them, and the GX attack. Yeah. So I recommend having 2 to 4 of these. Tauros will fit in every deck. There are specific ones, but this new Tauros GX is a meta game changer. I don't know why it's so cheap right now. I think every deck can have this. Every deck that does not have a GX Pokemon should have this. Because this Mad Bull, if you have this charged up, it is a game changer. Keep that in mind. So, moving on. Yes, you should have 2 4 of these. Pad up your early game so you got somebody strong to hold you till the big guys come out. Or, no, these guys are big enough. You can make them all pure basic deck. And I believe that's what's winning in the meta. Simple, basic, powerful Pokemons. But, doing that all the time, it's no fun. Yeah, so we have a complementing line, which can be basic Pokemons or something stronger. Yeah, how about the Decidueye GX? Free damage every single turn. Yeah, works well with Tauros. Actually, everybody works out with Tauros. How about Zoroark? Ooh, 1 energy, copies any of your opponent's moves. GX attacks. Just for 1 energy. Use it against them. Even the best and the strongest attacks can be copied. So, yeah, he fits well with Eviltal. Look at that. Resistance to fighting. Well, he has a weakness to fighting, so they balance each other out. Volcanion. Ooh, Volcanion makes Baby Volcanion stronger, much stronger with its Steam Up ability. You discard energy, Baby Volcanion hits harder, and look at this, Baby Volcanion charges up the bench with those discarded energy. So these are, you know, the very popular combos right now. Pretty much, yeah, they are popular combos right now. Yeah, you can believe me. So, how many of these you get? I put some basic guidelines on you, depending if you're running stage 2, stage 1s, basics. Here they are right here, so you can take a look at that yourself. Now, moving on. Yeah. Okay, step 3. You got your Pokemon in. You're gonna find a problem. Deck space. You only have 60 cards. How do you balance it all? This is where the hard part comes in. So, you just have to balance it out. Usually you have to take some cards out, but if you can put cards in, that's easy. So, here's the thing. I'm gonna show you which is the most common dials I do when I need the deck space. Sometimes it's usually altering the Pokemon line. Other things, I'm gonna thin out decks such as deck thinners, Pokeballs, disruptions. Those go first if I need the deck space. Then, alright, I would lose some switch cards, maybe just have 2 switches, maybe only have 3 stadiums. I've gotta be really careful and take some draw supporters out too. This is what I really want, deck space, but usually hit the Pokemon line first. Then Poke Tools. Maybe I'll just run 2 Fighting Fury belts. Don't do this one. Actually, don't do this one. It's gonna screw you over. Trust me. Okay, so that is if you don't have enough deck space with the Pokemon that you want in. Obviously, the best one's gonna be Pokemon, but if you have more space, put in deck thinners, put in disruptions like enhanced hammers, crushing hammers. So that's how you manage your deck space. So, alright, the final thing you gotta do, try it out. Now, you know, everybody's afraid to fail, but failing tells you so much. I mean, success tells you what you're doing right. But, you know, once you start losing, you're like, oh, it tells you so many ways, so many valuable information to improve your deck. So, you have no cards to play in your hand? Add more draw supporters. Now, this is often. The game is RNG, but if you are stuck all the time, add those draw supporters in. If the wrong cards are in your hand, where are my Pokemon? Where are my energies? You know, just put the right cards in. If it's Pokemon, I'd say usually add more Pokeballs because they can home in on the right Pokemon. Energies, add more energies. Deck thinners, this doesn't really solve the problem. Sometimes it does, but I'd say these 2 help the most. Okay, then if you're drawing way too many Lysanders sometimes, or it's not that. If you're drawing junk cards, you need to take it out. You don't need it. All right. If your setup is too slow, ooh, that's tough when you're running stage 2. So usually what helps me out, add in more Pokeballs, slow your opponents with discards, energies, removals, or just add stronger basics. So they can just pad the game out for you. Damage, usually just the best thing. Maybe try a different Pokemon. Maybe some Poke Tools may help, like those bursting balloons, Professor Kukui. And if you're decking out, this usually isn't a problem. Just Brock. One Brock usually takes care of everything, or add a second Super on. And finally, if Lysander is in the back of your deck when you really need it, almost every game, and you're at like 10 cards in your deck, they're both there. In that case, I feel sorry for you. You just feel sorry for yourself, Chris. That's okay. We got it. So, those are my tips. I hope they helped you out. So, thank you very much, Integrals and Differentials. Have fun in the Pokemon trading card game. Bye-bye. End of the song. Yeah.